All right, welcome everybody to a special episode of Off the Ropes with John and Josh. I am Josh.
And I am John. What is up?
That's right. We are here, like I said, with a very special episode. We are going live tonight with our predictions for both TLC and the SLAMMY Awards. That's right. So,
yeah,
John, how are you, man?
Dude, I'm doing great. I'm feeling great tonight. I'm loving the fact that we got a good weekend of WWE coming. You know, TLC 2020 tomorrow. The Slammy's coming up right behind that. Bro,
Absolutely.
How are you doing?
Dude, I'm pumped, man. It's been a while since we've done a live show, so I'm real excited for this.
The last live show we did actually went really well. So let's hope for another good one tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you guys can see right at the bottom there, if you got questions, you got comments, you leave them in the comments section, whether you're on Facebook, whether you are on YouTube, and we will address them here on the show. We will, if they're good enough, maybe we'll put them up on the screen. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. But yeah, definitely leave your comments. We want to hear it. We want you to be as interactive as possible. And share this link, man. You know, tell your friends. Be like, yo,
yeah,
John and Josh doing a fucking show right now. You know, get up on this shit. Let's do it. It's going to be a fucking good time. I am really, really excited to get into it. And, you know, we usually do this at the end of the show. But if you haven't yet, get up on the Twitter. You know, Off the Ropes JJ. Follow us on there. We've been doing a lot more on both the Facebook and the Twitter. John's been doing some awesome fantasy bookings, which I've been taking from the Facebook page, sticking them over on the Twitter page. I hope you guys have been liking those.
Don't even let him undersell himself. He put one up the other day. It blew my fucking mind. It was legit crazy.
It was fun. I really enjoyed doing it. So definitely you'll see more of those from me. So
we should do a collaboration one.
I think that would be fucking awesome, to be totally honest with you.
I
would love to do that. So,
yeah.
All right. You know, we got a few people in here. So let's get started. John, we are going to start off with our predictions for the upcoming TLC. Tables, ladders, chairs. That is right.
TLC!
This is a match that I fucking love. And I kind of love that it became its own pay-per-view back when they were doing a lot of that, you know. It's, you know, they had this, they did Hell in a Cell, and those have kind of stuck around. I think there were a few others that they did that kind of died off, but I'm glad that this one stuck around because I love the TLC matches ever since those tag team TLCs from way back in the day, like 20 fucking years ago. Man, it grabbed me, and anytime we play the video games and shit, I love doing those style of matches. So,
you know, nothing will ever beat the TLC though between Scotty Mack and Johnny Storm for the Hardcore Heavyweight Championship.
That was one hell of a match too, man. Impromptu and everything.
Hell
Look
yeah.
at that. We got a banner and everything. TLC
hell
2020
yeah.
predictions.
Right. So where do you want to start on the card?
Okay, so I was thinking we start kind of I want to save the big matches for the end, obviously.
So why don't we start with the Raw Tag Team Championship prediction? New Day, consisting of Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, taking on the Hurt Businesses, Cedric Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah, right there. Look at that. Look at that card. It's gonna be a good time.
This is for the Raw Tag Team Champions. There is no big stipulation for this match. It's just a basic tag team match. Now, Josh, why don't you tell me your prediction first? Tell me how you think this match is going to play out.
My initial reaction when seeing this card took me back to I should say seeing this match took me back to when we were talking about the SLAMMY Awards, and one of the matches that is in the mix for a SLAMMY is a New Day versus Hurt Business match, which I went and rewatched earlier today so that we could talk about stuff. And I gotta say, man, they put on a hell of a show together.
They do.
The New Day always performs, in my opinion. They always do. And I think that Cedric and Shelton are a good team. I really do. I think they actually work really well together. So I mean, I'll be honest. I have no qualms in saying that this is probably going to be a hell of a match. You know, it's not a crazy stipulation, but these guys know, all four of them. They know how to put on a show together. They seem to work really well, especially after watching that match from last month. And so I think this is going to be a hell of a match. However, I don't see the Hurt Business taking the win here. I don't think it's the time yet. I think it's possible, mainly because we've seen the split of the trio. So maybe they're looking to wind down the New Day, but I don't think it's quite that time yet. Maybe at Rumble we might see something like that, but in my opinion, I think New Day is going to hold on to their titles coming out of this match.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, I see this match playing out slightly different. You're forgetting the Hurt Business isn't just two people; it's like 4 or 5.
I know.
And I know that.
However, New Day retained their titles in November against them, even though the others were out there.
True. It's not
like they can't do it. So,
I never said they couldn't do it. I'm explaining my side of it. I'm explaining why I think the Hurt Business is going to do it.
Fair enough.
Because there is 2 key factors in why I think the Hurt Business is going to beat the New Day at TLC.
Okay.
1, MVP is in their corner, and MVP is going to do anything he can do to bring that championship gold back with them. And two, unlike Xavier Woods, both of the guys that are on Team Hurt Business are high flyers and can do a lot of crazy shit. Xavier Woods used to be a crazy stunt kind of guy, and then he got hurt and he changed up his in-ring work. Kofi can still fly, but Xavier doesn't as much anymore. I think.
He was pulling out some stuff I was not expecting in the November match. So you never know.
I mean, I'm not saying that they won't. I'm just saying smart business in the booking right now would be to put the titles on the Hurt Business.
I mean, I don't know if I go quite that far. I think that smart business is to kind of play this feud out a little longer, personally.
How much is New Day paying you? Are they paying you in pancakes or Bootios?
Maybe I'm getting all the blue solo cups I can. Oh, wait, that's the wrong guys.
Ooh, that's racist. Are you saying that all black people look alike?
Has zero to do with race, John. Come on. And you know that. It has more to do with the 2 teams that are almost the same in their style.
However, let me ask you.
Get out of here.
How did the Intercontinental Championship and the SmackDown or the Raw, the SmackDown, I was right first time. How did both of those get left off the show?
That I don't know. I mean,
they would have put them in the show.
I mean, they don't want to make these types of pay-per-views 4 hours long. You know what I mean? So when you have big stipulation matches, you don't want to overpack the card.
No, I get that.
6 matches here, both tag titles, both heavyweight titles. So, it kind of is what it is. See Chad over here agreeing with John. Nah. New Day all the way, and that rhymed.
I mean, yeah. I will say this. I do want the New Day to win the match. I think that would be a great move to keep their motivation going. But I'm saying my prediction is the Hurt Business.
Fair enough. And I mean, I feel like no matter what, it's going to be an insanely good match.
Oh, so I agree with you. I think that's going to be shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked if it's the opener, to be honest. I really wouldn't.
I can see that.
Yeah. So, all right. So next, I think let's talk about the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Sasha Banks versus
Universal. It is the Universal Women's Championship.
Fair enough. You want to call it that? Let's call it that. The Universal Women's Champion match. Sasha Banks versus John's favorite, Carmella.
Mela is Monday.
That's right. We got the see right here. Look at that.
Oh, it's my future wife right there.
You do what you do.
So,
John,
nope.
Thoughts on this match?
Well, I have a big thought process for this match, but it's going to be a long drive to a short destination. My prediction is Carmella.
Okay.
And I have a feeling that if Carmella loses, it's going to be because of Bayley. Bayley will come on out. It's either going to be Bayley ends up somehow screwing over Sasha Banks, or Bayley beats Sasha Banks down and helps Carmella take the tag or the Universal Women's Championship, and therefore we get a new champion. Either way, I think Bayley's going to be involved, setting up more of a feud that we can get like a triple threat going for Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I agree. I think it's going to be Carmella, even though I don't particularly want that to be the case. I think they've been pushing Carmella kind of hard lately, and I don't think that it will detract from Sasha's kind of her career projection if she loses the title here, because like you said, I agree. I think Bayley will be involved somehow. So it's not really going to be a clean loss for her. And I could easily see it leading toward, like a triple threat type program coming up somewhere soon. I like Chad's prediction here. Well, that I would pay money to see. I'm just saying. I think that would be hilarious if that actually happened. So, yeah, look at that. We actually agreed on one. I wasn't sure how that was going to play out, but we did it, John.
I'm expecting us to kind of butt heads on a couple of these tonight.
Yeah.
Professionally.
Fair enough. All right. I think we're going to go with the other women's match now. WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler versus Asuka and a to-be-determined teammate. So for those of you who don't know, Lana was taken out and is no longer in this match. And now we don't know who it's going to be. So, John, I know you had some thoughts on who you think it might be. Let's hear.
I don't know if you've got this queued up right now. But let me tell you something, brother. This is exactly what's going to happen. We are going to get a return of the one, the only, Gobbledygooker. He's going to step in there and he's going to take on Nia Jax.
I wish I still had that picture. I would have thrown that right up.
I am calling now. I'm calling an audible. They're going to call Charlotte Flair up and they're going to be like, look, we need to make this like interesting. We need to make this good. And the fans are going to hate it. The fans, I mean, anybody who's listening right now, because I can't see, I'm not like on my phone. My phone is off to the side. I don't know how many people are actually watching this, but how many people listening actually want to see Charlotte come back? I mean, does anybody want to see Nia Jax at the buffet table? It just doesn't happen. People don't want that. I want to see somebody like really out of left field. I want to see like Shotzi Blackheart come up and get a chance. I want to see like Beth Phoenix make a return to the ring. Maybe we get like a callback from like Lita or Trish Stratus. Just somebody who's going to be there long enough to step in, help out, make the card look good, and give this match what it needs. Validation. Maybe in a year.
Yeah, maybe. So real quick, going back to the previous match, Lindsay chimed in saying, "Yeah, Bayley can't let Sasha Banks do anything on her own." And it's weird how Josh can go for Tommy Dreamer's twin, apparently, when he's shave and have a haircut. Okay, cool.
Like Dreamer.
I mean, I will never shave, but hey, that's cool. Or get a haircut for a long time.
Tommy Dreamer is growing his hair out now, so maybe he's going to be Josh's twin.
Sweet. I dig it quite a bit. So who do you think is going to wind up taking this match?
Well, my prediction with being Charlotte Flair making her return, I think it's going to be Asuka and Charlotte Flair. I really think that they are planning on taking the tag team championships off of Nia and Baszler. But to whom is part? I mean, look at that. Even the freaking stand-in looks like Charlotte Flair.
Look at that, man. It's too funny.
I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I think it's going to be Asuka and Charlotte, and I think they're going to win the match.
Yeah, if it's Charlotte who comes back, I wouldn't be shocked. When we were talking about this off screen, I was like, "What if it's fucking Becky Lynch?" That was like my first like go to, and then, you know. But then I was thinking, I was like, "Well, she just had her kid like 2 or 3 weeks ago, so I doubt it would be her." But dude,
I mean, that would be one hell of a return, though.
How banging would that be, man? That'd be awesome. Like I rewatched her Rumble match with Asuka, and man, I miss her so much. She's such an amazing wrestler. I miss watching her in the ring. It's such a shame. I mean, it's not a shame, but you know what?
I miss people like Becky cutting promos and Nikki Cross cutting promos because I love the accent.
Yeah.
Like they get on the mic and they're talking like this, and they're like, "I'm gonna whoop the arse," and you're just
why don't you just listen to Sheamus? You know, you can get your fix there.
Yeah, but listening to Sheamus is like putting gravel in a blender.
Or Drew McIntyre? How about Drew McIntyre? He's got a silky voice.
His accent isn't as thick.
It's true. It's true. He's Welsh, right? He's from Wales?
Yeah, something like that.
Is that what it is?
He's from like the poor people Scotland.
Discount Scotland?
Huh?
Is it Discount Scotland?
Discount Scotland. Discount Scotland.
Oh, man. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Remember, everybody, as we're talking about these, throw in your predictions. We want to see who you think is gonna take these matches. You know, like who do you think this surprise competitor is gonna be? You John, you think it's gonna be Charlotte, or do you think it's gonna be somebody else? You got anybody else in mind you'd like to see? Let us know in the comments as we head into our next match. This is one that I know John is super looking forward to. The Fiend Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton, and what the WWE has dubbed a Firefly Inferno match. That's right. They're touting this as the first ever Firefly Inferno match. So I really hope there's something special to it, and it's not just a regular Inferno match. Because, I mean, I'm sure it'll still be a fantastic match, but I will be disappointed if there's not something extra.
I'm hearing some buzz on this one that they're going to do a cinematic match, so I think it'll be decent. Which means you're probably going to see some kick-ass shit in this match too.
Oh yeah.
I'm really hoping that this match isn't disappointing because I really like the direction they have taken this feud. Like Randy Orton and the Fiend, they're really pushing that the Fiend remembers everything that's been done to him. Randy set Bray on fire. The Fiend came out of the fire. Excuse me. I mean, come on, people. How many people listening right now are Fireflies? I know I'm a Firefly. Let him in. Let him lead you. I mean,
let him in.
People let Donald Trump lead you for 4 years. Let Bray Wyatt take over for a match.
I mean, honestly, what's the worst thing that could happen if you let this little guy just lead you around? Come on. Yes. What's the worst thing that could happen? I mean, honestly, people.
I'm telling you, I came up with the perfect solution for that. So you get the elf on the shelf and you allow,
Lindsay knows what it's all about.
So you get the elf on the shelf, and when your kid starts misbehaving and you're supposed to report to Santa Claus, you swap out the elf on the shelf with that bad boy, and you scare your fucking kid straight, where you're like, this thing's gonna murder you in your fucking sleep.
Dude, my kid, I opened it up, right? Because we showed it on the show last time.
Yeah.
That I got one for each of us. I opened it up and my daughter saw it and it freaked her the fuck out. All I had to do was like wave the bag at her that had like the shipping bag and she would run off. Oh, it's good times. Good times.
We're not bad parents. It's just how we live.
It's just how we entertain ourselves during pandemic lockdown craziness. That's all. You know, when I'm locked in my house with my kid all day, every day, I gotta do something to make myself smile.
That's true. What about you? Who do you think is going to win the Firefly Inferno match.
I mean, I feel like if it's not The Fiend, I'm going to be kind of disappointed. I mean, I love Randy Orton, but this is like, I'm sorry, Randy, but no freaking way are you taking out The Fiend in this kind of match. It's just no. And that would be a disservice to that character. That's just my opinion.
They've already done enough disservice to him, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, he's had some fantastic, like kind of off the wall matches. You know what I mean? With he did the Swamp match, he did the Firefly Funhouse match. You know, these are fantastic things, and I hope that we get something in that vein with this match. And I mean, granted, technically, neither of those matches had a winner.
That's very true.
So who knows what will actually happen here?
Stars to stay looking strong.
Yeah. So I don't know how they're going to play this one out, but I feel like even if there's not technically a winner, I feel like the Fiend will be the one coming out on top, no matter what.
Probably.
You know what I mean? So that's my opinion. So, all right, we got 2 matches left, and they are both the tables, ladders, and chairs matches. We are going to start off with the Universal Championship match, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. John, who you got in this match right here?
Well,
look at those faces. I'm gonna Battle of the Beards, bro. Battle of the Beards.
I'm going to flip the gender stereotyping. I'm going to start calling this the Men's SmackDown Championship.
Yes. Oh, my God. I love that. Okay, that's what we have to start doing from now on.
I'm going to allow the Women's Championship to still be the Universal Women's Championship, but then I'm going to call it the SmackDown Men's Championship. I'm going to see how people fucking like it when you start labeling men's is the less equal.
I love it.
Personally, I think Roman Reigns is going to win this TLC match because I have a feeling Jey Uso is going to interfere.
Yeah. I feel like that's kind of the route they've been going with Roman, is where it's not necessarily that he needs people's help, but he will always get people's help.
I will say this though. Count my money on this one. Spot of the spot of this match is going to be from Kevin Owens.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree with that statement. Real quick, going back to the previous match, the Fiend needs to win if the gimmick is going to mean anything. Absolutely.
No, that's absolutely it. Like, I completely agree with Chad on this one. If the Fiend is going to do anything, I mean, they've screwed him over in a couple of his high-profile matches already. Most notably, the Hell in a Cell with Seth Rollins. They fucked him over in the win on that one, and then made him look like complete shit. And even the fans backlash on that one to the point WWE doesn't even acknowledge that match unless they absolutely have to.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this Universal Championship match, like I said, I agree with you. Where Roman doesn't need the help, he'll take the help. And like I said, spot of that match is going to come from Kevin Owens. Mark my words on it.
Yeah. And as far as who's going to win, I don't think it's quite Owens' time at the moment.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to see Owens win it, but I agree
that would be an awesome turn, an unexpected turn if Owens actually takes the win on this. That would be awesome. But they're building Roman in a specific way, and if he drops the title already, it's just going to completely destroy everything that they've been building here. I just don't see it. I just don't see him losing that title for a while.
No, and I completely agree with you on that. And that's the one thing that I see is if he dropped the championship, all this work they put into him being the head of the table, unless there was a mix-up where Jay tries to help but somehow costs him.
Yeah, he could get DQ. Well, no, there's no DQs though. So because it's a TLC match, so even that, so he would have to legitimately lose the match and lose his title if he were to lose in any way. So I just don't see it happening before WrestleMania.
No,
because there's the rumors, of him and Goldberg fighting at Mania, and I feel like they would make that a title match. I really do. I'm not saying that Goldberg would win. Yeah. So I just don't see him losing before WrestleMania. I'd be shocked. I'll say that. Anything is possible, but I would be really, really shocked if that is how everything
right.
went down. So
anything is possible. That's why the gobbledygooker is going to come. Actually, though, we're forgetting about an entire element to this, though.
Okay.
There is still a Money in the Bank contract to be cashed in at any time.
That's true. The Miz could pop in out of anywhere.
And there are 2 championship matches.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Roman theoretically could be like down and out, and Owens might not be the one to pin him. Fucking Miz could come out and cash in.
It would be kind of awesome. I'd love to see something like that.
There's the pitch out of left field that you don't even see coming at that point.
Yeah.
Takes me back to the Mania where who was it? Was it Dean Ambrose versus Roman, and then Rollins came out and like he cashed in?
Maybe. I think that sounds right. I'm not sure. I'll be totally honest with you.
I remember that it was Mania like 31 or 32. And I remember the main event, it was Roman was that it might have been him and Brock.
My memory's not that great. Anybody out there watching? Chad, Lindsay, any of you people out there, if you know the answer to this question, throw it in the comments.
If you're watching, save us.
Yes, let us know. But I think seeing the Miz come out, I'll be honest, even if he just attempts to and then changes his mind and runs away, I think that'd be hilarious. Because that's the Miz right there, man. Like, that's the Miz. He would do that. Absolutely, he would do that. All right.
I'm Google searching now. I want to know.
Yeah, you do that.
It was bugging me.
We're gonna as you do that, I'm gonna move on to the Raw Men's Championship match. Did I do that right, John? Did I do that right? The Raw Men's Championship match. All right. Between Drew McIntyre and one AJ Styles. Again, tables, ladders, and chairs match. No matter what, I'm excited to see.
It was Roman versus Brock.
Oh, it was Brock. Okay.
Roman Brock.
Okay. All right. Yes, well, there you go.
For the Raw Men's Championship.
Yes. So first, I want to say, like I said before, I love the TLC match. I'm excited that we're getting both of these matches. I am a little bit bummed that there's not a women's TLC match on this card.
Yeah, I would have thought that the women's championship for SmackDown would have been decided in the TLC.
Yeah, like I don't understand why
the Universal Women's Championship.
I don't understand why the Raw and SmackDown men's titles have to be both defended under TLC. Yet the Universal Women's doesn't get that treatment, and there's no WWE Women's title match on this card at all either. So
even the tag team match.
Yeah, still, you know what? If that tag team match was TLC, that'd be baller.
Dude, that would actually a tag team TLC match would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, get the women in a tag team TLC match for the titles, dude. I'm in. Come on. They're doing the ladies dirty during this pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Like they didn't give dirty. Like the guys are the ones getting all the 2 TLC matches plus an Inferno match. Come on.
I'm sorry, a what? There's not an Inferno match book, sir.
A Firefly Inferno match?
It's the first
a Raw Inferno match? No, is that not right?
It is called a Firefly Inferno match. It's the first of its kind. I will have you check your fucking history books.
Fair enough. You could throw Firefly in front of anything. Firefly ambulance match. A Firefly strap match. A Firefly boiler room match. I'm sure there's others.
Judy Bagwell on a pole match.
Wait, what was on the pole?
Judy Bagwell.
Your audio cut out for me, so I was like, "What?"
Yeah, it's a Firefly.
Oh my God.
Judy Bagwell on a pole match.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. I love it. All right. So, what do you think? How do you think this match is going to go down? Like I said, this is the Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles. Look at them. Another battle of the beards right here. All these bearded guys. It gives me hope. It gives me hope that beards are going to stay in for a while. Yeah.
I'm making my prediction.
AJ Styles. Now you think it's his time to take
I
home the
think
Raw Men's Championship?
it's not. They've already shown that Drew can drop the championship and still come back from it.
That's true.
He dropped the title for like 2 weeks to Randy Orton.
Yeah.
And he took it right back. So why not let AJ...
Hold on. Chad says, now I want a Firefly Judy Bagwell in a pole match.
Well, Marcus Bagwell, if you're listening to this, we need you and your mom to come out of retirement.
Oh my gosh, that's good stuff.
He's the stuff, and the chicks really dig him.
Yeah. So, AJ Styles, huh? Okay.
AJ,
do you predict any... I mean, obviously, the match is going to be crazy, but do you predict any unforeseen craziness happening in this match?
Almost is in the corner of AJ Styles.
Yes.
And that dude is big.
He is big.
I see some crazy ass shit coming. I mean, we can see it cash in on this match as well. I mean,
could, yeah.
The Miz can cash in on either championship. I mean, there's nothing saying he can't even run it out on the women's championship and cash in on that.
Here's my question. I don't know if this has ever been stated before, but I assume that when you cash in your Money in the Bank, it's just a standard singles match.
No.
Is that correct? No? Then what are they? No.
I mean, normally, yes, because it's a normal match. But I mean, like when Seth Rollins cashed in, it became triple threat, which made it under triple threat rules.
So what do you think would happen here if after the match ends?
Oh, after the,
yeah. That's what I mean.
Halfway through.
Oh, I mean, he could cash it in halfway through, but I almost feel like it would be more advantageous for him. But I mean, if he does cash it in during, then he has the opportunity to use weapons. So I guess it's kind of a toss-up. But I almost feel like if the Miz even tries to cash in on this, as long as AJ Styles, like if he tries to cash in after the match and AJ Styles does win,
oh yeah,
I feel like almost it's just gonna beat the shit out of him and stop him from winning, even if it gets AJ DQ'd, because it's not gonna matter. He's gonna lose his title. You know what I mean? And has that ever happened? I don't remember. Has anybody ever cashed in and then gotten DQ'd or like not gotten their match because of, or gotten the title because of a DQ of some sort?
That I don't recall. I know there's only been a couple of times though where somebody's even cashed in and not won the championship.
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4, I think, total. So Lindsay has a suggestion that I think John would be interested in. A Firefly Clockwork Orange House of Fun match.
I don't think that they would use the term Clockwork Orange because that I know Raven owns the rights to that, but I mean I'm down for that match anyway.
Yeah, that would be pretty sick.
I have personally wrestled in a Clockwork Orange, and let me tell you, great fucking match.
Absolutely a great match. But I'll be honest, I'm a little torn on who I think is going to win this match. I do agree with you that I think that Drew can take a loss and not have it affect his career in any way, since we've already seen that happen.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be shocked if AJ wins. I kind of prefer it if Drew wins. That's just me. I'm a bigger fan of McIntyre. I love AJ Styles, but I'm a bigger fan of McIntyre, so I would prefer him to win, but I would be okay either way. You know what I mean? But, you know, as we talked about it, now I really want the Miz to cash in the middle of this match and turn it into a triple threat. I really want that. And then just have like, he comes running out and almost just clocks him in the like he completely loses his opportunity because of that. I think it would be the most hilarious thing ever. I don't know.
There'd be one that would be even funnier though.
Okay.
He doesn't even get to cash in. As he's cashing in, almost fucking lays him out somehow. He's out for the remainder of the time he's out there, and then after the match is over, like maybe he gets put through a table at ringside or something. And like he gets up after the match and he's like, he looks at Jomo and he's like, "Did I win?"
Yeah, but see, I feel like that's less funny because he doesn't lose his money in the bank.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I want the Miz to become the WWE or the Universal Champion. I'm
The
sorry,
what? The what? The what?
the Raw or SmackDown Men's Champion.
There you go. There you go. What show are they on? I don't even know anymore.
Raw has the WWE and SmackDown has the SmackDown.
No, I meant Miz and Morrison.
Oh, they're on. Fuck, I don't even know.
SmackDown. Yeah, it all kind of blends together for me nowadays. So like I kind of forget who's on what show half the time.
Dude, it's ridiculous. You can't keep up with it half the time anymore.
Yeah, I know. I liked it better when there was no brand, but I understand why they do it.
I mean, there's always a brand, dude. It's WWE.
Well, you know what I mean. The split. You know, the fact that you have only certain guys on one show, certain guys on another. But I get why they do it because otherwise certain people monopolize both shows.
Like Triple H.
Triple H, John Cena did that, you know, back in the day. Same kind of stuff. And it would happen. It always happens, no matter what. Whoever's top dogs in the, you know, whoever the top 5 guys are, 5 or girls, whatever, they tend to monopolize the time on both shows when it's a combined brand.
Oh, absolutely.
So, you know, that's kind of how that goes. So, any final thoughts on you're hoping to see what you think we might see coming out of TLC tomorrow?
I mean, that's pretty much what I expect to see is that. I don't think we're going to get too many twists or turns that are unpredictable.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I'm hoping for a good show, a whole a overall good event. We'll see how it all pans out, but I think they've got some decent matches on the card that could make this be a hell of a year-end pay-per-view.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and 2020 with a bang, or with a inferno, a Firefly Inferno, that is.
There. Before we take Slammy predictions, give me 1 minute. Go full screen and take a Q&A.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have a little something anyways I wanted to do in between the 2 predictions. As some of you might know, I also run a site called DC Comics News. We recently became an affiliate with Insight Editions. This is a great company. They sell a lot of like art books and think pop culture books and things like that. For instance, they've got this definitive history of Batman. They've got a Die Hard book. It's super thick and it details like all of the franchise. It has like inserts and stuff. It has all kinds of amazing stuff. They also have some wrestling related stuff. They have a WWE official cookbook. They have a couple of poster collections, a pop quiz trivia deck, and even like a hardcover journal that's got the what John likes to now call the Raw Men's title plate right on the front. So there's a lot of great stuff there. And now up until January 8th, if you use the code DCNews35 at InsightEditions.com, you can get 35% off site-wide with the code. Again, that's DCNews35 for 35% off site-wide. 35% is quite a bit. So, if you're looking to pick up some cool stuff, maybe some last-minute gift ideas, might not make it before Christmas, but hey, you can get it to them after Christmas. I highly recommend checking out Insight Editions. It's InsightEditions.com. 35% off site-wide with the code DCNews35. So yeah, be sure to do that. You don't want to miss out. Like I said, that promotion ends on January 8th. Be sure to take advantage of that.
I am back.
Lindsay loves the Stitch picture. Yes. I got that from Walmart a while back. I don't know if they still have them there or not. But I got it from Walmart in like the section where they sell like the mirrors and stuff. They have all of like the wall art there. So that's where I got that piece. I love it. It's been hanging on my wall for quite some time. Welcome back. Love the hat, John. Love it. Love it.
So they have to use the bathroom. and I forgot that I had pulled this out earlier, and it was like, fuck it, I'm gonna wear it.
Nice. So yeah, once again,
if we're
Inside
talking about
Editions,
war art, let's appreciate
InsideEditions.com. You can get something Harley Quinn like what John's got on his wall right there. You can get a whole the Art of Harley Quinn book, 35% off with code DC News 35. Be sure to do it. Yeah, and John's got his awesome Kramer that got from our dad after he passed away. Good stuff. All right, so
sorry, I had to drain the main vein.
It's all good, sir. It's all good. We are going to move on now to the Slammy Award predictions. Dun, dun, dun. The Slammies. That's right. As you can see, let me take this banner away. As you can see down here, December 23rd at 10 a.m. Eastern. That's 7 a.m. Pacific for you people over in California. And some other times if you don't live in America. Like, I think it'd be like 3 p.m. in the UK and like midnight in Australia or some shit like that. It's crazy stuff. But yeah, nice and early. I'll be waking up, checking out the Slammies. Maybe I'll wake up. I might watch it after. I don't know. I haven't decided. But that is on the 23rd, which is Wednesday before Christmas. So we are gonna pop in to some predictions for the Slammies. All right, let me grab my list right here. See if there's any comments. Any comments, anybody? Nothing? All right, now we're going to move on to the Slammies. I'm going to start off this talk with moment of the year. I want to start off with a good one, and then we'll kind of filter into the rest, get to some good ones toward the end as well. Moment of the year had some really good moments. And moments is something that we talk about on our pay-per-view shows. We always, have our moment of the night when we're talking about shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So this was one I really liked looking through. And as I was looking through it, honestly, there was only one that really was like, that's it. That's the one. But I'm going to list them all, and we'll kind of and we'll get our thoughts on these. But yeah, for me, there was really only one that I was like, that's it. There's nothing better.
I'm pretty sure we went with the same one, but for
probably, maybe, I guess. Well, yeah, we'll see. All right, so nominees for Moment of the Year. We've got The Undertaker's Final Farewell, Survivor Series 2020. Drew McIntyre defeats Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship, WrestleMania 36. Becky Lynch announces her pregnancy on Raw, May 11th, 2020. Edge returns in the men's Royal Rumble match, Royal Rumble 2020. The New Day's farewell address, SmackDown, October 16th. Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman unite on SmackDown, August 28th. Bayley betrays Sasha Banks on SmackDown, September 4th. And the New Day gets drafted to different brands on Raw, October 12th. All right, John. First off, before you even give your pick, are there any honorable mentions that you have? Any of these that you're like, that's a pretty good moment. That's something that was almost there for me.
The one that was almost there for me was Becky Lynch announcing her pregnancy on Raw.
Okay.
I feel like it overshadows Asuka getting the women's championship, though, which is why that one doesn't get the moment of the year.
Yeah.
But if it hadn't been the Final Farewell, if it would have been something else for Taker, maybe. But that farewell sucked.
It did. And we talked about that. We talked all about that on that episode. Dude, man, it was not good. Not good at all.
My moment of the year, though, might shock most people. It's not going to shock you. Edge returning at the Royal Rumble 2020.
Yeah, that's exactly what I went with. It's the same thing.
Okay, so tell me your reason before I tell you mine.
Okay, so I was as I was going through these, I was like, okay, there's like three that I was really kind of leaning toward. The first one was Becky Lynch announces her pregnancy, but I had the same kind of thought process as you. I was like, yeah, but it overshadowed the title, and I didn't think it had quite the lasting oomph that I was hoping for. So that one kind of got knocked out. Then it was between Edge's return and the Roman Reigns Paul Heyman thing, because I was like, that's huge. You know, Roman finally came back, and now he's a Paul Heyman guy, and look what it's done for him. You know what I mean? It was a big thing.
Amazing.
And I was going back and forth between those two until I rewatched the moment. Because if you go to the Rumble on the network, you can go to, and you can skip to specific parts. And it had an option to skip to Edge's return. So I just went straight to the return and watched it. And dude, it filled me with that excitement as if it was the first time I watched it. And I was like, hands down, that is my pick. No questions about it. There's nothing else that gave me that feeling like that. So that's why I wound up that for me. What about you?
I went with it for a little bit of a different reason. So I respect Edge as a worker, and his return was huge. You know, he had to retire because of unforeseen circumstances with his neck. You know, he was out for 9 years. He comes back, and he looks better than ever. He gets that fucking huge return, and that has none of that has anything to do with this is my moment of the year.
Okay.
So for those of you who know, our dad passed away in February last year, and the Rumble happened in January of last year. And it was the last pay-per-view we got to watch with our dad. And for anybody who knows our dad did not like wrestling.
Yeah,
but
not really, yeah.
Josh was in town. I was there visiting. We got the Rumble and put it up on the TV. And Dad sat there in his bed and watched it with us. And the moment Edge makes his return, I mean, it was rumored that it was going to happen. Nobody actually knew if it was or not. But the moment that Edge came out, I stood up, flipped a chair, and was like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. And Dad's like, Edge, yeah. And it was one of the few moments where I was like, wow, Dad knows who one of the more modern guys is. And he attributed it to Josh and I, and how I pretty much annoyed him with the fact that Edge was one of my guys.
It's so true. It was such a great, because one of my favorite final moments with Dad.
Yeah,
you know, it's just
honestly, like I said, the other moments on this list were nice, but none of them bring back that moment of a memory for me. Yeah. So I'm sorry, Edge gets the return. Edge's return gets the moment of the night for me.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to be sorry at all, because that is, even without that, is the best moment of the year of all of those. And that just adds to the cake, you know, it adds some extra frosting to that bad boy. So yeah, just it's you telling that story just brought all those memories back. I will probably rewatch moments like that with that in my mind for the rest of my life, you know?
Yep.
All right. So the next one that we're going to talk about is the rivalry of the year. All right. So we've got Seth Rollins versus the Mysterio family, Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton, Edge versus Randy Orton, Sasha Banks versus Bayley, R-Truth versus the World, and Lana versus announcer tables. Now, first off, I have to say bravo to the WWE for putting essentially two joke rivalries in there, which you never know could win.
Theoretically,
Lana versus announce tables is hilarious because she went through so many fucking tables.
9 of them.
It's ridiculous. Like, it's I give her props for just letting that happen. I really do. It's
R-Truth versus the World is more like R-Truth versus 5 guys.
Really, yeah, it really is. Because it's always like the same few dudes. Yeah, and it's really all it is. It's the guys who have nothing to do. They're just hanging around backstage, not on the card, not doing anything. Hey, let's chase R-Truth around the stadium or whatever, the backstage. That's all it is. So, but obviously neither of those, at least for my pick. I'm actually torn on this, so I'd like to hear your thoughts. See if you can sway me one way or the other.
All right. So here's my prediction. Well,
Okay.
my prediction.
Yeah, your prediction, yeah.
Edge versus Randy Orton.
Okay.
Not because the other ones aren't deserving, but Seth Rollins versus the Mysterio family. It's been short lived, and the feud's been not. Not that it hasn't been.
Is that feud still happening?
It
Like,
kind of is, but
at the heyday of that feud, it was fantastic.
I mean, it had its moments, but it wasn't. It wasn't the rivalry. I wasn't like, oh my god, yes, I gotta watch.
I remember talking on more than one show about how much I enjoyed what they were doing with that rivalry, but that was months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when it comes to Bayley and Sasha, it's another good one, but that one definitely was like, it was quick, it was done, it was over. And so I'm like, And then what's the other big one?
Drew and Randy. Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton.
Hasn't really went on too long either, but it's been heated, and that's nice.
That is true.
I went with Edge and Orton because from the moment they started this feud, we've got nothing but fucking great matches out of both of these men. And yes, using the term the greatest wrestling match ever was a little presumptuous.
A little short-sighted in my opinion.
But their match at WrestleMania was just phenomenal. And I loved it.
It absolutely was. I think them naming it that kind of put them in a box that they were realistically never able to get to.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
You were never going to actually have the greatest wrestling match ever. It was never going to actually happen. And I think it was unfair to both of them to put that on them.
And I mean, the fact that they put the R-Truth versus the World and Lana versus the Tables on the list kind of upsets me because there were other rivalries that they could have easily put on this list.
Yeah, it just shows me that they didn't care enough about any of the other rivalries.
No.
Like, what about, this one wouldn't win, but you could stick it on there over the other two, Jeff Hardy and Elias.
Retribution in the Hurt Business.
Yeah, I mean, those types of feuds, in my opinion, deserve more than Lana and the Announce Tables or R-Truth versus the World. Like,
I
really
100% agree.
Yeah, so I'm disappointed in this category, but John, you have swayed me. I will also go with Edge versus Orton because I was torn between that and the Seth Rollins Mysterio family one. But yeah, as we talked a little bit about it, it did kind of just fizzle. And now, yes, Edge and Orton just kind of stopped after Edge got injured, but what was there was intense and fantastic. And I do think overall probably, better than what we saw.
There's another layer. You can look at this Edge and Orton one, though, as well. Edge and Orton, during it might have been short and it might have been over quickly because of the whole injury thing. But look at the promos you were getting from both the guys. They were reminding me why I like the promos like yesteryear.
Edge gave one of probably the best backstage, just like sitting in a corner kind of promos that I have ever seen from him.
Yeah.
It was mind-blowing how good it was. I didn't know he still had it. Like, had the promo skill like that. It was man, it was intense and I loved it.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So yeah, you swayed me, John. You swayed me. How you feel about that? You're used to that though, aren't you?
I do my best.
All right. So this next one, Tag Team of the Year. We've got 5 tag teams here. We've got the Golden Role Models, who we just discovered last episode was Sasha and Bayley.
Oh, you discovered. I knew.
You didn't say that's who it was. You thought it was Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, man. Talking about you knew. You're like, it could totally be them. I'm like, yeah, I could see that.
Totally been them.
It could have, but it wasn't. And then we've got Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, who John's probably going to pick.
Nope.
Then we got the New Day, the Street Profits, and Shinsuke and Cesaro. All right, so for me, it came down to either the New Day or the Street Profits, because I think that they have done the best work overall, at least among these 5 tag teams. I never really liked Sasha and Bayley as at least as a heel tag team. I never really liked what they were doing. They just annoyed me most of the time. So I was like, I definitely wasn't going to go with them. Obviously, I wasn't going to go with Nia and Shayna Baszler. And Shinsuke and Cesaro they're great, but they were so underutilized that I'm just like, they didn't really get the ability to shine, I think, enough to take this. So, like I said, for me, it came down to New Day, Street Profits. I gave it to the New Day. I love the Street Profits. I love what they've been doing, but I think the New Day has just elevated their game throughout the year in a way that I never expected from them. And so I felt like they are, at least, like I said, out of these 5 teams, I think it's them all the way.
Wow. I want the smoke.
Fair enough.
Personally, I thought that the Street Profits were just a little bit better this year. They had a few better matches that I can remember them having, and I mean, I love New Day. Don't get me wrong. They're actually one of my predictions for one of the other categories, but
yeah, I get that.
I mean,
my issue is that they started off the year kind of jokey, and it kind of with like their stuff with the Viking Raiders and all that. Like, I just kind of
yes, and that I agree.
It took away enough for me to say I don't quite think that this was their year for Team of the Year. Maybe next year, if they stay on this trajectory, 2021 could be Street Profits all day.
I mean, I love listening to them backstage when like they're like picking on people. I mean, cutting promos essentially, but they pick on people. But I love it when they get serious and he's like, "Yo, bam, listen up," and he's like, "Da da 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 da," and like, I mean, they're good.
They're great. They're great on the mic, absolutely, and they're great in the ring. Like I said, it was between the two of them, so it was close. It was very close for me.
I think it's funny though that both of us picked the tag team champions.
Yeah. Well, hey man, they're the champions for a reason.
True.
It's so true.
It's because WWE has a shitty tag division.
That is true. They're not like AEW, who knows actually how to do stuff with their tag teams.
That is true.
Just saying. For any of you out there still listening, looks like we still got a few listeners. Chime in. Who I haven't seen any comments yet for these picks. Who are you wanting to see take home some of these awards?
Let's get some comments. I mean, you can ask us anything you want. You got us live for right now.
Yeah, we will stop talking about whatever and we will answer your questions. I don't care. We are here to talk whatever.
For anybody who cares, I mean,
Yeah, just give us the smoke.
Give us the smoke.
All right. So this one, I think I feel like it's gonna be easy for both of us. And I feel like it's gonna be the same for both of us, but maybe you'll surprise me, John. And that is Return of the Year.
Fair.
So we have Edge, Roman Reigns, MVP, Goldberg, and Sami Zayn. So I feel like it's pretty obvious who I'm picking. I'm going with Edge. After rewatching his return, I feel like and picking him for the moment. I feel like there was no better to me return, especially getting the matches that we got with him after his return. It wasn't just about that singular moment. It's about what we got after the moment that really kind of made me feel like it had to be him for this return. And it seems that Chad also agrees, gonna be Edge. Oh, and also, he says, going through this just reminding me how bad this year has been. You ain't shitting me, man. It's totally right. But John, what are your thoughts?
All right. So before I tell my decision of who my return of the year is, let me ask you, why is Sami Zayn on this list, but the return after 30 long years of waiting for the gobbledygooker to come back is not on this fucking list.
Right? If you could have R-Truth versus the world and Lana versus announce tables, why couldn't you have at least have a sixth slot in this category just to throw the gobbledygooker in there? Because it would have been hilarious and awesome.
I am so
and I might have picked it. I might have picked it. I mean, gobbledygooker's return was not a moment of the year either.
That's what I'm saying. Like, oh man, I obviously picked Edge. I mean, obviously.
There's also something that I've noticed about the Slammy nominations that I want to. Maybe I should have brought this up at the beginning. I could bring it up at the end, but talking about things not being on the list has made me think about this. Apparently, WWE does not consider the NXT Slammy worthy.
Yeah, I had noticed that myself. I had
nothing
noticed that at the end.
Nothing is NXT at all.
Nothing NXT.
Yeah. I don't know why that is, but
because honestly, fucking match of the year could have easily went to fucking War Games.
Dude, yeah, there are some definite NXT matches that could have bumped out some of those other matches. There are some superstars that could bump out what they have in for Superstar of the Year from NXT. Those could be bumped out. Moments, like I just don't understand why. If this is their brand, like it's one of their brands, it's like Raw, it's like SmackDown, it's NXT. I understand that they're on state. They never share a pay-per-view anymore. Like that's just a thing. It obviously shows that WWE does not consider them in the same league at all.
No, that's honestly so disheartening.
They are the B league or what do they call it? The double A league in baseball? What?
The redheaded stepchild?
Well, that. But I mean, like in baseball, I think it's like the double A league or something like that.
Oh, yeah. The minor leagues, essentially.
Yeah, it's like the farm team. Yeah. And that's really disheartening. Now, understand sometimes NXT doesn't do the best stuff, but sometimes they blow you out of the water. And sometimes they're better than the fucking regular product. You know what I mean? And so
absolutely.
It's disheartening that they get zero representation at the Slammies. It's been 5 years since we've had a Slammies.
Yeah.
NXT wasn't really as prevalent as it is now.
No, but I mean, now they are legit. And there are times where a lot of their matches blow away the fucking. I mean, we literally just had War Games. War Games was better than any of the last couple pay-per-views we've gotten from WWE.
Dude, it was so good. It was so good. I don't think you've given.
Say so good one more time.
So good.
Yeah, it's like we're listening to freaking Neil Diamond.
I don't think you've given a 5 boot to a pay-per-view. Have you given one all year? Other than that, yeah, I'm just like, I think that's the highest rated pay-per-view that you have rated. On the show. And so
there was literally a couple points where watching War Games had me off of my chair. Hi, Mom. There was literally a couple points where War Games had me off of my chair, and I was like, "Oh my fucking god, what am I watching right now?" Because I mean, it's not always like from opening to fucking end. It doesn't have to be excitement. But tell me a story. Make me believe what I'm watching. Make me remember why I'm a fucking wrestling fan. Don't treat me like I'm some fucking idiot who's watching this just because I have nothing better to do with my fucking time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have been a wrestling fan for fucking longer than some of these people can remember their fucking history. Let me tell you something I can remember that most fans can't. I can remember a feud between Jake the Snake Roberts and the Macho Man Randy Savage, and Macho Man was coming up the entranceway with Elizabeth, and Jake the Snake was sitting behind the fucking curtain with a steel chair, and he was getting ready to bust Macho Man in the face. But Elizabeth got ahead of Macho, and right as Jake the Snake went to swing a chair, the Undertaker grabbed a chair, and he was wearing gray gloves, not purple. He was still in that phase of his career. And when Jake the Snake turned around, Taker was just like, actually, it was more like this, but I mean, you get the point. Point is, most wrestling fans, they think, have a 7-year span of knowledge. And even though I may not follow New Japan and I don't follow Impact all the time or AEW, I still remember shit that most wrestling fans don't. Right there, WWE.
So true. So true. You may not have queued it up. I had to queue up that for you because that felt like, whatever the fuck that's called now. I totally forgot.
Let me tell you something, brother.
That thing. Totally blanked on it. That's what it felt like. I felt like that thing. Yeah, but 100%, man. Like, and when you get something, in this product, like a War Games, it makes you want more of that. I mean, that fucking pay-per-view got me to respect Pat McAfee, for crying out loud, and I've been railing on him for like 2 months now, So, I mean, the fact that they just decided to shaft NXT in the Slammies really kind of grinds my gears a little bit. But
I thought about that when I was reading over a lot of these.
Speaking of gear, it's time for Ring Gear of the Year. How'd you like that segue, John? That was a good transition.
That was pretty good, man. I thought that was pretty good.
All right, so Ring Gear of the Year. Now, as far as I know, there's no specific ring gears, so I'm just assuming it's overall ring gears throughout the year, whatever. We're going to go with that. So we've got Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Seth Rollins, The New Day, Bianca Belair, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Carmella. What do you got? Going with Mella?
I'm not going to lie. I almost went with Seth Rollins.
Oh,
because Rollins does have some nice gear, and he's usually put together really well. But I feel like there was only one real choice for this category, and that was New Day.
Yes. 100%.
I mean, we went from seeing like full colorful uniforms at the beginning of the year to like it was like February, March. They had the white paint by numbers, and then like gradually it got like colored back in.
Yeah, and we had that Gears of War one that they did.
Yeah, and that was the topper for me. Was when they came out on the last pay-per-view. They had all that the Gear of War on, and I was like, fucking New Day, man.
Yeah,
throw me some pancakes, pour me some bootios.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly like the whole thought process I had. All of the bright colors, the fact that they're like completely uniform with one another, but while still, feeling like themselves.
I was gonna say they're uniform.
And then that Gears of War thing was fucking phenomenal. Yeah, I loved it.
And I agree with you. They have the uniformness down while all of them wear. Hey! This is a show about respect. Respect it. It's just you ain't got no booty.
Bootios.
Oh, which, mind you, ladies and gentlemen, let it be forever known that Bootios was brought to you by the makers of Extreme Blue and Slurm, which also brought you Sexy Boys body spray.
'Cause it's sexy and it's for
boys.
Yeah. For those of you who know, you know.
Oh, when you know, it smells like pickles.
I've tried to get that changed.
Yeah? Well, you've tried, and it didn't. It smells like pickles. Oh.
Anyways.
Let's talk about the breakout star of the year.
Breakout star. That's right. So we've got 5 choices here. Dominic Mysterio, Bianca Belair. 6? Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Dominic Mysterio, Bianca Belair, Otis, the Street Profits, and Murphy.
Yep.
I honestly, for me, it was an easy pick. I don't know about you. Now I like some of these others. I mean, I like most of the rest of these wrestlers, but I felt like none of them did what the Street Profits did this year. You know what I mean?
Did I give you a hint?
I don't know. Did you? Really?
No, I chose the Street Profits.
Okay, I was gonna say, wow, look at you going off book over here.
There's a book.
There's a book. I wrote it for you, John. You're supposed to ask for a line if you don't remember. No, I'm just kidding. It's the Street Profits, man. Come on. No. But yeah, I feel like Bianca's done some good stuff. Yeah, I feel like during the Survivor Series match, she really kind of showed what she had.
Oh yeah.
Murphy, I've really not cared much about, to be totally honest with you.
I'm over Otis.
Otis is funny, but I don't think he's done enough in ring or anything like that in order to really get that that status for me. And Dominic was my second choice, because he has actually shown that he can really do some stuff here. And I was really happy to see him on the list, but I knew that he wasn't going to be my pick. Now, if they were going to throw NXT in here, I think I would put Pat McAfee on this list. I'm not saying he would win. Baby. I'm not saying he would win, but
oh wait, Adam Cole's not a breakout.
Adam Cole's not a breakout, though.
Then I nominate him for Male Superstar of the Year.
There you go. See, I would totally be down with that. I think NXT should do their own, call it the Nexies.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Just do their own award show.
Tweet that later. Tweet that later.
I will. Mainly because, like, I think it could be funny to see. Really not funny, but I think it would be cool actually to see NXT have a what?
You know what I just thought of though?
What?
Say your name for the award show again.
The Nexies.
Sounds really close to the Nexus.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's where NXT comes from, really.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying, could you imagine like people being like, the Nexus? What?
I think it would be hilarious that way. But I think it would be really cool to see NXT essentially feud with WWE. You know what I mean?
NXT should team up with the AEW Impact NW.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I don't want it to happen because it's WWE.
But like do essentially kind of what they were almost trying to do with Nexus, but have it be brand wide and not just like a group of 6 dudes. You know what I mean?
It would be a phenomenal starting point for something with them. And I mean, have the Undisputed Era and like.
Yeah, I mean, he's a solid pick in my opinion. I just still think that
you give it a year, and Dominic Mysterio is not only going to be a breakout star. You mark my words, he'll be a mid-card champion by the end of the year, if not tag team champion with.
You mean by the end of next year,
or by the end of next year? Yeah,
yeah.
He'll either be a singles champ or a tag team champ with Humberto Carrillo.
Yeah, I could see that. But yeah, good
All
stuff.
Right. 4 categories left. Do you want to go with match or one of the superstars?
Let's do female and male superstar. And do you want to do match last or do you want to do superstar last?
I want to do superstar last.
Okay. So let's do female and male first. Okay. So
female first. Let's put the female higher.
Okay. There you go. I like that. Male superstar of the year. We've got Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, Braun Strowman, and The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Take it away, John.
I let him in. He is the guy who I chose.
He is the guy that I also chose. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I was looking through this list. I'm like, Roman's done some real good stuff since he's come back. McIntyre and Orton have done some good stuff. Braun Strowman, I mean, he's good, but I don't think he got up there for me quite as to what he was doing. It's The Fiend, man. Bray Wyatt. Every single thing that Bray Wyatt, whether he's Sweater Bray or The Fiend, everything he's done, pulling Alexa Bliss into his clutches, it's been fucking amazing. Dude, it's just. Chad says The Fiend was a bright spot in a dark year. And Lindsay agrees. Wyatt, hands down. It's a unanimous vote here, John. 4 of us, Bray Wyatt.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, female star of the year, woman of the year.
Yes. All right. I'll be honest with you. One of these, shouldn't be on this list. But that's just me. We've got Asuka, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair.
And I'm going to say that you think Charlotte Flair should not be on that list.
Yeah, I really do. She's been gone way too long. I understand Becky also been gone quite a while. However, I think Becky did way more in her time that she was here for this year than Charlotte did. Hands down.
Hands down.
I feel like they could have given it to somebody else, but we got a contrarian here, John.
What?
Somebody likes a little Miss Charlotte Flair. But for me, I was torn between both Becky and Asuka. I'm still a little torn, I'll be honest. So I want to hear what you have to say.
Well, I chose Becky Lynch.
Okay.
Not because she had like the storybook career of the year, but I mean, a lot of good happened to her this year. She was Becky 2 belts at the beginning of the year. Things started to dwindle down. She showed that she could beat Asuka one-on-one, and Asuka was the person she couldn't beat. She stepped up in the whole feud with Bayley and Sasha Banks, and for a while there, it looked like she was going to get a tag team partner and go after the tag team titles. But hands down, even all that aside, Becky Lynch became a mom this year.
Yeah.
She was on the road for a couple weeks, not knowing whether or not she was pregnant. She gave it all to the company. Her and Seth, they're together. They're doing their thing. They're starting a family. Becky Lynch gave us everything she could and needed some time off. I mean, hands down, Becky Lynch was my choice. I didn't even have to think twice about that one.
I definitely think that's probably who I'm going to go with as I'm sitting here listening to you talk about it, thinking back on that Rumble match that I rewatched today between her and Asuka, just the incredible talent that she has, not just in the ring though, on the mic too. She's overall, she is one of the best wrestlers that we've seen in the last 5-10 years.
Yeah,
in my opinion. I think Asuka is one of those as well. But listening to specifically the things that you talked about, I think I'm going to give it to Becky this year. I hope they do the same.
Maybe
we will see. And Chad, I just want to shame you one last time. Charlotte Flair, come on, man.
Sarcastically.
Maybe. I mean, he did spell her name wrong, so that's cool. All right. So we're going to move on to our penultimate category. For those of you who don't know what that word is, that means the category before the last. And that is the match of the year. Now, most of these I had seen, when they happened. A few of them I had missed, so I went back and rewatched them. So I think I have a good sense, in my opinion, of who I'm going to pick here. So we've got Undertaker versus AJ Styles, the Boneyard match from WrestleMania 36. The New Day versus the Hurt Business Raw Tag Team Championship match from Raw November 16th. Edge versus Randy Orton, the greatest wrestling match ever at Backlash. The Men's Royal Rumble match from Royal Rumble. AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan, Intercontinental Championship Tournament Finals, SmackDown June 12th. That was the day after my birthday.
It was.
Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso, Universal Champion, or the SmackDown Men's Championship, Hell in a Cell I Quit match at Hell in a Cell. Sasha Banks versus Bayley for the Universal Women's Championship, Hell in a Cell at Hell in a Cell. AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn versus Jeff Hardy in an Intercontinental Championship triple threat ladder match at Clash of Champions. Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns at Survivor Series, and Becky Lynch versus Asuka at Royal Rumble. Okay, a lot of fantastic matches here. One that I think should not be on this list.
Which one?
The men's Royal Rumble match. Because half of that fucking match was Brock Lesnar just throwing people out of the damn thing.
That's very true.
And I absolutely hated it. I almost rewatched it. And I was like, I turned it on. I was like, okay, let's just see what all happened here. And then Brock comes out number one. I'm like, oh yeah, he just fucking clears house for the first 15 people.
Yeah.
And it pissed us both off. So I stopped. I didn't even bother. I just went and watched just the Edge return part. And that was it. So personally, I don't think that is even anyway. That's bottom of this list.
That's fair.
I also went back and watched for the first time the New Day versus the Hurt Business tag team match on Raw, and the AJ Styles Daniel Bryan Intercontinental match from SmackDown, and then I rewatched the Becky Lynch Asuka match from Royal Rumble. John, before we get into the predictions, what of these did you go back to get a refresher on?
I went back and rewatched 3, 4, and 5.
So Edge and Orton,
yep.
the
I wanted
Rumble.
to remember why it was labeled the greatest, and then I remembered that it wasn't.
Yeah, the Rumble and then the Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, and like you, I skipped the first half of the Rumble because I was like, fuck that.
I mean, the back half of the Rumble is great, but
back half.
You can't take out the first half when you're talking about best match of the year.
And then, after I watched those 3, I went back and I watched the Boneyard match.
Okay.
I remember WrestleMania. Me and you were on the phone for most of Mania with one another.
Yeah.
And it was a different way for us to watch Mania, but like we were sitting here, we were both watching it.
We had just decided to start the show back up.
Yeah.
Mania was the first show back.
Show we did. And I remember watching that match and I got chills. And I was like, man, that match for being cinematic was fucking phenomenal. And besides that one, we had the Firefly Funhouse match that night. And I was like, both matches in their own right were really great matches.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, I have to go back and watch that Boneyard match again. And then I was like, that match was still okay, but it wasn't how I remembered it being at Mania.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was just like we were having that feel of coming back and like this and that. So let me tell you what I actually chose, though.
Okay. I'm interested, man. I'm curious if it's the same or not.
Sasha Banks versus Bayley, Hell in a Cell 2020.
That was my number 2. I was going back and forth between 2 until I rewatched one, and it settled it for me.
So what did you choose?
First, I want you to kind of dive into your choice a little bit. Tell me about why that one.
I have seen a lot of Hell in a Cell matches. I mean, I own the box set for Hell in a Cell because I love it, like the best of Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, there have been great Hell in a Cell matches before, but never do the women ever really get to.
That one wasn't on the list, Chad.
Not on the list.
It's not on the list.
You know what, Chad? You just made the list. But the way I looked at it is that there have been great Hell in a Cell matches, but that one went above and beyond things that I had seen before. They did things that I hadn't seen before. And yes, they might not have gotten out of the cage and done shit, but they were constructually content in doing what they could do inside the cage. And therefore, it set precedent for 2 women to have tore down the fucking Hell in a Cell. Their match was better than the men's Hell in a Cell match.
It was. It was better than because there were 3 Hell in a Cell matches.
Yeah.
It was better than both of the men's Hell in a Cell matches. Yeah.
But I mean, at least one of the 2 men's ones was closer.
That's true.
Like you could easily be like coin toss maybe. But I mean, Sasha Banks and Bayley really deserved to go out there and have that moment where they really tore the fucking house down. And they did. They gave it their all to make sure people were like, hey, we're fucking here. We can do this shit too.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, that was my number 2 until I rewatched the one that I picked.
The Asuka.
Nope.
No.
That one was close just because it's just a fantastic match. And I was originally thinking that one, and then I started thinking about the Sasha and Bailey one. I was like, oh no, that one is the better of those 2 matches. And then I rewatched the AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, Jeff Hardy Intercontinental Championship Triple Threat Ladder match.
Yeah, that match is pretty.
Dude, that match is nonstop, just fucking great wrestling, great hardcore action, great play-by-play commentary, something that we talk about regularly that there's not enough of.
We do.
And it was like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, fuck, man, they're like legitimately play-by-playing this fucking thing. And it was fantastic.
One question for you. When Jeff takes that sick bump down in the corner where like they try to flip the ladder and he kind of gets hung up in the ropes, did you cringe?
Oh, dude, I did again. And then fucking Sammy with the handcuffs Jeff's ear to the ladder, handcuffs fucking AJ to himself, has the key in his mouth, handcuffs AJ to the ladder. Like, the whole fucking thing was just incredible to me. And then Sammy being like, I'm not the new champ. I was never not the champ. Yep. I am still the Intercontinental Champion. Yep. I was like, that whole, I was glued to my TV the entire time watching that match. And so I had to give it to that one. I almost gave it to the one you picked, but yeah, I had to go with that. With the
I like your pick though, and that's a legit reason for picking it, man. I get it.
Yeah, so it was a damn good rewatch too. I highly recommend it. Going back and rewatching that one.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, one category left.
Yes,
Superstar, which is both the men and the women from the other 2 categories combined into one list.
Yes. So I'll go back. I mean, if you want to read them through, you can read them through.
I don't have the list, but I was going to say. Okay. I'm going to have Josh read the list, and before we say who we pick, I want to know your picks.
Yeah. So I know Chad and Lindsay, you're in the chat. So as we read this list,
Mom, if you're still in the chat,
yeah, let us know who you would pick for Superstar. So we've got Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, Braun Strowman, The Fiend Bray Wyatt, Asuka, Sasha Banks, Bailey, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair. So, again, like we talked about when we talked about these categories individually, there's some great superstars, there's some great wrestlers in these categories, some that I don't think should have been in it. But I think it was just, part of me thinks it's weird that they're doing, like, I understand why they do it. Why they're doing an overall superstar of the year, but part of me also thinks, why bother doing that? Like, I feel like either just do them separately or just do them all together. I don't know how. Before we get into the picks, what are your thoughts on having both having them separate and then having them combined?
Funny that you say that, because I was actually thinking that when I was looking at the categories, because I forgot that we'd went over them on the show. So, of course, I had to go back and refresh myself on them. Ooh, a pick for Roman. And I was like...
What about you, Lindsay?
I was like, Superstar of the Year. I'm like, cool. And then I get down the list and like, Female Star of the Year, Male Superstar of the Year. Like, but we have the Superstar of the Year, so why the fuck would we have 2 other categories?
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree.
So we've got one for Roman and one for Wyatt.
I don't understand why both. The only thing I could think of is that they wanted to have an overall Superstar of the Year so that they weren't like showcasing the men over the women. You know what I mean? But they didn't want to not have them both because most likely, unfortunately, a guy's probably going to win.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Sadly, my pick was a man.
Yeah, so was mine.
Not who anybody would have thought.
Really?
did not pick Bray Wyatt.
Really? So your male superstar of the year is not who you pick for superstar of the year?
Yes.
Okay.
But for a really good reason.
I'm interested to hear your reasoning.
So before I tell you who, let me explain why.
Okay.
So the superstar I picked had a phenomenal year for different multitude of reasons.
Okay.
He has had probably not the best storyline, but he has had the best year that he could have for himself. He has done a lot of building for himself. He has done a lot of personal gain. Roman had the most consistent story. You're absolutely correct. But that's not why I'm picking the superstar of the year for the one I am. I'm picking the superstar based on a multitude of things, which I think a lot of people should break down. So this superstar not only has turned his entire physique around, he has turned himself around. He went from being a top guy to a mid guy to a almost not talked about guy, used a platform to make himself back up the ladder, and is now one of the guys who WWE is constantly talking about. I picked Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman.
Interesting. Has lost a lot of weight.
The way you talked about it, I thought it was going to be somebody else.
Amazing, isn't it?
So then why not male superstar of the year? Just curious.
Because in the way the specific male superstar of the year, I use that as the whole storytelling one. That. Okay. Bray Wyatt can have that because male superstar of the year is about how everything is played out for him in that category.
Okay.
His decent. He's had good storylines, kind of what Chad said about Roman. He's been consistently booked decently, but at the same time, Bray hasn't really done much outside of his gimmick. Braun Strowman literally cut off all his hair. He slimmed down. He toned himself up phenomenally. He looks like a beast. He went from being in the Universal title picture to demoted down to Intercontinental level to Raw Underground only to get himself back on Raw, get himself booked strong, and had started coming back for the big title picture again.
Okay. I like the idea of picking somebody different for a superstar because when I was looking at this, I was like, well, I guess it has to be between Becky and before it was either Asuka or Becky or Bray because those are who I picked and I felt obligated to do that. But after the way you talk about it, I think I'm going to go a little different. And in a similar reasoning to you, this is a person who mid-level guy, super mid-level guy, very forgettable to a lot of people.
Sami Zayn,
who rose up and showed that he is no longer a mid-level person, that he is an A-list top-tier competitor in this company, and that is Drew McIntyre.
Yes. And
now,
I respect that.
As we were sitting here, I was like, well, I could go with Roman because he's done some damn good stuff here. However, I feel like Drew has had to overcome far more in that aspect because with Roman, they were handing him the fucking show. You know what I mean? They pushed him to be the face of this company for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And so he didn't have as hard of a trek to get to where he is. He just needed to kind of reshift what he was doing. Drew had to fight and prove that he could be a champion and not just a placeholder as Roman likes to think. No, I don't buy that for a second. Even if he does lose to AJ, I still don't think he's just a placeholder. He's earned his championships when he's had them. He has fought for them, and I think I'm going with Drew on this one.
Fair. No, I respect that.
Yeah. So, yeah, that I didn't think that I was gonna change my mind on that, but there you have it, folks. I changed my mind.
Look at that though. You were originally going to pick Bray, and based on how I pitched my idea for Braun Strowman, you thought I was talking about Drew McIntyre.
Yep.
That persuaded you into changing your fucking vote last minute.
Yep. Absolutely, man. And
I'm fucking good at what I do.
So yeah, there it is, guys. That's our predictions for both TLC, which happens tomorrow night, and the Slammies, which takes place on December 23rd, Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you guys have any last minute comments, questions, we're here. We can.
Fun. We've been recording for an hour 36. Let's open up the floor for 10 minutes for some Q&A.
Yeah. So while we wait for some questions, John, tell me what's been happening in your life that you want to share with the good folks on the internets.
I had a great
right here
with my kid.
Yeah.
Well, except for the moment where he told me he hated me and never wanted to see me again. But it was a great weekend.
Typical kid thing right there. I've experienced that myself.
I tricked him into helping me wrap one of his Christmas presents without him knowing.
Was it the big one in the kitchen?
It was the big one in the kitchen. Oh, room started wrapping it. He wanted to help me wrap it, and since he couldn't read the box anyway, and there was no pictures, I was like, "Sure."
And then, you got to take advantage of the years when they can't quite read yet.
Yep. I mean, it was phenomenal. It worked perfect in that aspect too.
Yeah, absolutely. Chad, Lindsay, if you got any questions or anything, let us know. Come on, hit us up right now.
Come on, now's the time to ask them.
This is the time.
Forever hold your pieces.
Doesn't even have to be wrestling related. It could be anything. Just ask away. We want to hear from you. Just because we want to chat. We want to have some fun. We don't do live all that often, so we just want to have a little fun while we do this. And while we wait for somebody to jump in with a comment, be sure to go to Insight Editions. Use the code DC News 35 to get 35% off site wide. Be sure you're doing that. You want to make sure you get all that good stuff. They got a lot of amazing stuff there. Harry Potter, if you're into that, Lord of the Rings, Die Hard, Aliens, DC, Marvel, all kinds of good stuff.
Remember,
lots of good stuff.
DC News 35.
That's right. All right. So it looks like we got a question here from Chad. In your opinion, what is the worst state in the U.S.? And why is it Nebraska?
Oh, now see, my personal opinion, it's not Nebraska.
Nope.
Wisconsin. Why did they get all the fucking cheese?
Nah, fuck that, man. They got the cheese, man. Come on.
But they hog the cheese.
Come on, man. Delaware. We're in Delaware. No, but if I'm being serious, I'd probably say something like Jersey or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, Jersey is the toilet in New York City, so.
Or maybe Florida. Florida's pretty garbage lately.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Crazy always stems from Florida. The
right?
basketball guy. I mean, the zombie apocalypse is probably going to start there.
Probably. Dude, all you have to do is go to Google and type in like Florida man and just have some fun with the titles that pop up.
That's true.
That's all you got to do. You can spend a couple hours just trolling the internet, Florida man on there, just fucking going through crazy stories. It's insane. It
would shock me at this point if somebody said coronavirus started in Florida.
Oh shit, that would be pretty goddamn funny. All right, so we got one from Lindsay here. If there's anything you did when you were growing up and got away with and had a chance to do it again, what would it be besides that one thing where the cops busted you because of your muffler? Okay.
Yeah, we said we got away with it. I didn't get away with busting out someone's window. I had to pay for it. If I was allowed to do something all over again and get off with it because I got away with it the last time, that's a whole nother story. I mean, there are a lot of crazy things we don't talk about that we got away with because we got away with it.
It's true.
It's fun to talk about the shit that's on the book because otherwise it's called incriminating evidence. And there are some in the state of New York that do not hold a time frame. You can still, Yeah,
that is also true. I'm gonna say 2 words, so it won't incriminate me really, but John will know exactly what it means.
Wait. Let me see. We're gonna say this at the same time. 2 words, right?
Okay.
On 3, it'll be 1, 2, 3, and then say your 2 words, and we're gonna see if we got the same mind frame going here.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Drunk
spinner
Marine.
belt. No. What did we get away? What did we get away with the? What did we get away with? What did we get away with the drunk Marine other than the cat?
Someone's cat.
That's true. I mean, he needed a friend. What do you expect? No, spinner belt. That's all I'm going to say. John knows. I know. I would do that again.
Yes. Except for the throwing it. Don't throw it this time.
Yeah, see, I would change a little bit. I would throw it harder. No, I'm just kidding.
I might not catch it.
Let's see if John remembers this. DX.
Oh my god. Dude, so I literally thought, you know what? I'm going to call you after this. We got to talk about that.
Yeah, some good stuff, some good stories. We don't feel like incriminating ourselves. But that was a good question, Lindsay.
That was a great question.
That was a great one. So if you guys got any more, we still got a couple more minutes.
If anybody else out there who wants to chime in with a question, concern, comment.
Yeah.
Otherwise, let's do this part, Josh. Where can they find you? What media sources are you on currently?
I am on, you can find me on Twitter at JP Raynor. That's JPRAYNOR. You can find me, hold on, let me take this away and you'll see it. You can find me at Movie Blog Merc. That is the Twitter page for my site, Merc with a Movie Blog. You can check that out, mercwithamovieblog.com. You can also check me out on DC Comics News. I'm the editor-in-chief over there. All social medias at DC Comics News. And again, 35% off site-wide with the code DC News 35. Let's see. Lindsay has something here. It says, dude, you so have to text me and explain Big Daddy Storm. There you go. I like that nickname.
I don't know what I'm explaining, but sure.
I assume the stories that we refuse to tell. Yeah, and obviously you can check me out when we do these shows right here on the interwebs.
Absolutely.
John, what about you? Where can people find you?
Over running the Facebook page for Off the Ropes. So, I mean, if you have any questions, concern, comments, reach out. We have an inbox there, which I recently discovered. I didn't know that. So it's actually really cool. If you have anything you want to see on our Patreon, if there's any fantasy bookings you can come up with. I know Chad doesn't actually use Facebook. He's currently watching through YouTube because he doesn't do social media, and I understand that. Especially with a lot of the crazy shit going on lately, withdrawing yourself from it can do a lot for your mental stability.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Chad, if you've got anything you want to see fantasy booking wise, or if you've got anything you would like to see on the show, feel free to reach out. I mean, you've got my number, man. Text me. Anybody who wants to reach out to your friends, tell your friends who are wrestling fans, check us out. We're on Twitter. We're on Patreon. We've got a YouTube page. We've got the Facebook page. And I mean, pretty much all the links are that at Off the Ropes JJ. I personally, if you want to check me out personally, I am on Spotify and any place where podcasts are listed with a Simply Sane with Jay. It's the Not Your Mama's podcast where I talk about myself. Because, I mean, who doesn't want to fucking hear me talk about myself for an hour?
I mean, you know where else you can find us? On our Cash Apps. Here's John's right here. Christmas is coming up. Less than a week away. You can Cash App us some gifts. Sure. Cash tag JMade1 for John. Cash tag MercTrader22 for me. Feel free. We are open to donations of any size. And I will be uploading onto our Patreon a new show called Retro Match Review. Lindsay, who is our patron, she requested this match right here.
Boom. Bret Hart versus Roddy Piper for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. WrestleMania 8.
That's right. So that'll be going up soon. And so if that's the kind of thing you're into, you want to see more content from us, retro match reviews, we're going to be doing like top 10 videos and other stuff as well. You get AMAs depending on the tier that you're at. And if you hit our top tier, if you are a Hall of Famer, you can actually come on the show and talk wrestling with us for an entire show. And be sure to do that. Patreon.com/offtheropes. JJ, it's a great time. Here is the link. Be sure to do that. The more patrons that we get, the more awesome stuff we are willing to do.
Absolutely.
So,
and if there's not something listed on the Patreon and you think that there's something that we could do, talk to us. We'll work with you on it. We had received a message recently where somebody wanted to do a watch along with us.
Yeah.
And they just weren't willing to meet the requirements that we were asking for the watch along. Because they wanted to do a whole pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Well, it falls down to we're pretty much willing to do anything for the fans. Don't ever think that we're not here for you guys, but also understand that Josh does all the editing and releasing of videos, and he's in charge of like 6 other freaking things too, and he gets a little busy from time to time. So if you don't see it right away, don't think we're ignoring you. Just reach out to us and politely be like, hey, I did this. Why haven't I seen it recently? And we'll have a really actually normal answer for you. And we're not dicks.
It'll be up. It'll be up soon. I promise you. Lindsay had one last farewell. Good night. Love you both. Hug, but not in the Lonely Island way. Good stuff.
Well, I guess my dick's not going in a box tonight.
Boom. John, you can be my mother lover. All right. So I think that about wraps things up for Off the Ropes. Be sure to check us out on Twitter, Off the Ropes JJ, and all the social medias that we have, like we just talked about. So thank you for tuning in to this special episode of Off the Ropes. I am Josh.
And I am confused.
And we are down for the count. Be sure to check us out on our next episode where we review some other shit.